Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Rockerbox TV. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm the founder and CEO of Rockerbox. And today is a very special 5-year anniversary episode with our very original client, Spring Bengtzen. How's it going, Spring?
Hi, Josh. How are you?
I'm great. So good to have you. The thing I love about these Facebook little memory things that pop up occasionally is it kind of reminds you, where you've come from and how long it's been. But basically, 5 years ago was actually when Rockerbox began calling internet leads and following up with internet leads. And so we've got a fun, exciting story to share with you today about how Rockerbox was born, how we started working with Spring Bengtzen, and also had to highlight some of the success that Spring and her team have achieved over the last 5 years. Again, we're going to take a walk through memory lane. We've got some old pictures to pull up and share with you, but essentially, again, we've got Spring Bengtzen, who actually was the 2017 Keller Williams ambassador or cultural brand ambassador for Utah. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Did I get that right? Okay. And many other awards. So anyway, we've got a great story for you today, but why don't we just back up a little bit, and Spring, I'm going to give you the stage. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and essentially who you were until we crossed paths.
Okay. I'm Spring Bengtzen. I've been in real estate for approximately about 14, 15 years. I started out in new construction in a small town up north of Salt Lake City selling second home vacation homes. And then when the economy tanked, the brokerage went bankrupt, so did the development. And it was my opportunity to make a change. And so in 2010, I received Realtor Magazine's 30 Under 30. And a lot of the 30 Under 30s at that time are with Keller Williams. And in my market at that time, Keller Williams wasn't that prominent, but I was curious about why so many people were with KW. So I checked it out, and I got connected with somebody who said, have you ever thought about building a team? What's your next step? And quite frankly, I have never even thought about real estate to that capacity. And but I was ready for a new challenge. And so I jumped on the KW bandwagon, and I've been here ever since.
So. Awesome. And so we crossed paths about 7 years ago. I was actually working with one of my really good friends, Frank Klezitz from Viral Marketing. And you were one of the first clients that I actually got to work with at Viral Marketing. And why don't you kind of tell everybody a little bit how we got that started at Viral Marketing?
Yeah, so Viral Marketing, it was actually somebody I met with. It was a 30 Under 30. It was Jeff. I can't think of his last name.
Jeff Quinton.
Jeff Quinton, yes. Yep. I ended up on his email list. It was awesome. And so I checked out Viral, got signed up. And then you ended up being my Viral Marketing coach. And I never met you in person. And then we ended up at Keller Williams Mastermind in Vegas, mm-hmm. with some associates. And from there, we became great friends. And so we started at all the conventions. We would hang out, right? And so I think it was in 2012 or 2013.
Yep.
We went to a Boomtown Unite. Was it a Boomtown Unite? Or it was that family reunion.
Yep.
That we do. Yeah. And they had a Boomtown breakout session. And the hot topic was all about ISAs and internet leads and what are we going to do with them. And that was probably one of the biggest problems that I faced on my team, is because when I was growing, I signed up for Boomtown because I had to create lead sources, right, for the agents I was bringing on.
Yep.
But then I had no idea what the heck to do with them. So you and I were sitting in this mastermind. Do you remember this morning?
Yep, in Austin.
Yeah, and you're like, yep, Spring, that's the next thing. You got to do it. And so you ended up. And I hired an inside sales person, and you ended up coaching them for me because that was so out of my realm. Mm-hmm. And bless her heart, she hated that you held her accountable and called her every day and checked in. Can you have him not call me every day? And then she decided she wanted to sell real estate, which was one of the things that I think a lot of us in the industry have happen with our ISAs, that they ultimately get in and then they want to progress. And so I was back to square one, and you kept on tell me what to do. And I said, Josh, if it's that freaking easy, why don't you do it? And you said, okay. And the rest is history. That's my recollection.
Yeah, I've got a. That's a really good story. Here's a picture. Does that bring up a good memory there?
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
From Red Day 2013.
Yeah, so, Red Day's next. Look at that hair.
I know, that's great. So essentially, Spring, had this common problem that everybody else did, and I was going to a lot of masterminds. Spring was going to a lot of masterminds. So we were associated with a lot of the top teams in the country, and we understood what they were doing to achieve success. So it's one thing to know what to do, but it's another thing to actually execute and do it, right? So Spring was like, Josh, if it's easier said than done, like, why don't you actually do it? So that's a picture of us at Red Day from 2013. Spring actually bought me a one-way plane ticket to Utah and said, come on out here. You're going to help hire my IS, or you're going to help train my ISA, and we're going to get going. So like you said, the ISA became an agent. And then at that point, we were at square one. And so I decided, you know what, I'm here in College Station, Texas. I went to school here at Texas A&M University, and I had a great deal of success in, working retail management and restaurant management and the service industry. And this town has an incredible talent pool because there's so many college kids that are just right across the street. And, they're here trying to sharpen their skills and improve their chances of entering the young professional workforce. And so I thought to myself, well, if you don't have an ISA here in Utah, I'll just go back home and I'll see if I can, hire some young enthusiastic kids to make these calls for you. So that was about 5 years ago, July 2013. And obviously I didn't have anybody to hire because I had no idea what I was doing. So I actually just manned up and started doing the work myself, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. I love it. You did it for a little bit too, which I think was, for Rockerbox's success, really crucial for you to understand the whole process and what your now employees go through. So
Yep. And so, a good philosophy is I do, we do, and then you do, right? So you've got to create systems, and the easiest way to create a system is to first do it yourself and then start documenting it. So that was 2013. Obviously, again, I was learning the system, trying to figure out what put us in the best position to make you successful to get to these leads. And so why don't you talk about, how things were out of the gates? I know that the quality of our work has improved tremendously. I'm pretty sure my first transfer probably said something along the lines of looking to buy. And that was about it, which obviously our nodes now have all sorts of information about their motivation, time frame, and bedrooms and baths. But once I started handling the calls and getting that work out of the way, what did that enable you to do as far as building your business?
Oh, it was a complete game changer for me in multiple ways. First of all, to not even have to just worry about that part of our business was huge. Like, I just knew that you had it handled. And I think the biggest thing with internet leads is there's a mass quantity that come through, but there's only a small part of them that are actually going to purchase and qualify. And so scrubbing through all those leads is really time consuming. And so what it did for us was, instead of having our agents getting 30 or 40 leads each to scrub, that they maybe would get 1 or 2 transactions, you guys now do that. And so it freed up their time to go get other lead sources. So instead of being 100% reliant upon me for their business, we're training them and coaching them and have systems in place for them to be able to get other lead sources of business. So one of our big things is we really believe that we're going to have 50% of the business come from the team, and then 50% of the business come from them, whether they're doing open houses. Some of them are really good with their Facebook and their SOI. Other agents are great at on the phones calling FSBOs expired. It really is whatever their niche and what they're good at is what we really help them hone in, and we've got the systems for that. But you guys take care of sending over hot qualified leads for when they're ready. So it's been a game changer for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And so what I'm hearing is that, a lot of people just go, this work isn't getting done here, I'm going to hire you now, it's done. But you took it another level and used that as a foundation to build your business on. You said, hey, this work isn't necessarily the best use of your time and your expertise. So what we're going to do is filter through that work to give you only this amount of work. But then what else are you going to do with that other time that you just saved? And like you said, now that allows them to free up that time to put it in high income producing activities like bringing their own business to the table. So again, you freed up their time, and then you laid out a good foundation of systems for them to bring more business in. And so that resulted in, what was it, 38% growth in the first year?
Yeah. So from 2013, when you started, to 2014, we had 38% growth in our business just from making that change. And then we've seen growth every year since then. A lot of it, and then the internet leads is a huge part of our business. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely in part from Rockerbox and the process that you guys have in place, for sure.
Yep. And so rather than you're generating, I think, like 300 to 400 leads a month. And so again, your philosophy is, rather than just divvy those up amongst all the agents and say, here, good luck, go scrub them and keep them busy chasing those down. Instead, you're freeing up their time and giving them just the warm leads. And so why don't you talk a little bit more about how that's allowed you to actually attract people to your team? And then again, another tool put in place that has a compounding effect, that you're now actually able to recruit agents with this foundation laid out for them.
Yeah, so we basically lay it out, because I think a lot of teams say, hey, we're going to give you 30 leads per month or 40 leads per month. You're going to scrub them. This is our value proposition to you. Mm-hmm. Our value proposition is, hey, we have an inside sales team that's going to scrub the leads. You're going to get less, but they're going to be qualified, and they're going to be people who basically have raised their hands and said, I want to buy a home in the next 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. So it's your job to go ahead and nurture that relationship to where you can get the transaction. But what it's allowed us to do is, like I said, is really help them double their business, as well as have more free time. Like, if you're scrubbing 30 or 40 internet leads and chasing them, trying to get a hold of them, that's a lot of hours in your day, mm-hmm. especially compounds month after month after month, right?
Yep.
And so, like, we teach the model that they should have 100 leads that they're actively working right now, and we have them really systemized with the things that Rockerbox have come up with the hot, nurture, watch categories. And so that doesn't take more than maybe an hour and a half of their day. And so for the other 7 to 6.5 hours, they can spend time, like I said, lead generating. So we have systems built out. We have a full open house system. We have all of the back end dialed for when they submit something. Our transaction managers go ahead and create the Facebook posts and get them the Kohl's directory lists and all that kind of stuff. We basically have a system for everything that they can go in and say, okay, what is my skill set? What am I good at? So mm-hmm. if I have one agent who just started in July, and he sold, I think we're at 42 transactions since July, brand new.
Wow.
He's phenomenal at social media. So that's where he spends his time after he does his internet leads, right? Mm-hmm. I have some that are great at FSBOs and expired. So we provide the dialers and the call lists and all the material there, but he's great on the phones. Again, he's been in a year. He was a brand new agent. He sold 42 homes last year. So one of the things, like, if
wow.
you ask,
that's incredible.
Yeah, if you ask my agents, they'll say, my business doesn't come from just one source. Mm-hmm. I was actually one of them today. He's like, it comes from multiple pieces that we just basically have built out for them, so that they're not just reliant upon one thing to make their money. So.
Yep. And the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. I mean, year after year after year, you've got the trophies coming in. I guess this is from last year you won. But what are some of them? I mean, you're winning rookie of the year every year is on your team. Like, you're bringing brand new people into real estate, and they're winning rookie of the year. You've won it 6 of the last 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of that's this year.
Brand ambassador.
Our system's really dialed out for their first 100 days of training. So we use Asana. We have the first 100 days every day, what they're supposed to do when they come in. Because I think that's really the problem, is a lot of new agents get in and they have no clue mm-hmm. where to even start. So we have it really systemized out with videos and training and whatnot. So we're right now heavily focusing on recruiting, because we do have everything really dialed. I feel like it's a complete value proposition to be on our team. So if they're we're just putting it out there to find the right people.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Talk to me a little bit about market expansion too, because again, you're again, 5 years ago, it was just mad chaos. Like you were literally this close to just deleting your internet leads and just continuing the normal grind, right? Continuing the normal hustle. I mean, you won all sorts of production awards for your own individual production. But I remember specifically like having lunch with you in Utah one day when we were first grinding out and building this thing. And you were like, look, I know I can go out and sell 100 something homes a year. It's no big deal. You're like, but this is actually fun. Like this is what gets me up every day. This is fun, and so, I mean, you've actually, you keep building systems, right? You keep investing in masterminds and greater experiences and putting yourself around successful people. And what's awesome is you're creating all this opportunity for other people. But talk to me a little bit more about your market expansion growth. I mean, you, again, rookie of the year after year after year, but you now have laid out the foundation for an expansion team as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So we just expanded into Salt Lake City, which is about 30 minutes south of where we're at now. And actually, the gentleman who got Rookie of the Year last year, he comes from a corporate background. He's had great 20 years of like VP of sales for corporate America. And so he has opened up the expansion for Salt Lake City, and he's got 5 agents underneath him now. And they're actually feeding my hub's production right now, which not loving, but I also am loving. Like, I think it's phenomenal. And so, the thing about this is, one thing that you touched on is, if you don't have the right systems and you're not surrounding yourself with the right people like yourself and some of the other things that we do, like viral marketing and Boomtown, it really is hard. Like, you really have to have systems, because I think as an agent, most people, not all, but most people get in like I did as an agent, and it wasn't the intention to grow into this big team. And then it just keeps on going and going and going. And you're like, what's next? I can sell 100 homes a year on my own if I choose to. But at a certain point, especially as a woman, it's really like with kids, and you and I were talking about this before, I've got kids on comp ski teams and cheer practice. And I have a husband that doesn't want me to be gone every freaking night,
Yep.
You have to, a lot of it was because it's fun. And it's fun to grow and build and have that next challenge. And then a lot of it is also a lifestyle choice. I don't really want to be gone all the time. So you have to create that leverage is a key component of it.
Yep. We do masterminds here at Rockerbox. And just last night we were doing one of our company masterminds, but I was given our callers here a breakdown on the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant. Again, all of our callers are college students, and a lot of them are big business focused or in economics or finance. And so anyway, we were just talking about the difference between being self-employed and owning a business. And I was saying that, a business is something you have to be able to walk away from, come back, and it's still fully functioning and operating. And so, I mean, I know there's been many, many, many times I follow your Facebook and your Snapchat all the time that you're, on a catamaran down in the Caribbean or something. So like, tell me how have you created that leverage to, like you said, create that lifestyle, that life by design, so to speak?
Well, it hasn't come overnight, but the key component is that there's been people out there before me that have done it at a high level. And so I've put myself in those situations. So I've spent a ton of money every year on personal growth through Tony Robbins or masterminds or shadowing. I mean, I just went to Jeff Cohn's workshop last month. I have done all kinds of stuff to make sure that I personally have the mindset and the skill set, the mindset to go on. And then I've spent tons of money to make sure I have the skill set and the systems and the processes and the software. I mean, that's a huge part of it too, to build out everything. So
Yep. I mean, that's one of the most important questions. Again, when I was explaining it, when you're self-employed, you can get out there, you can grind, you can hustle, you own your own work. But can you go and make your daughter's cheerleading practice, or can you take a week-long vacation and not have to worry about decisions being made on your cell phone? And that's definitely I know something that like you said, when we sat out 5 years ago, there was definitely a pivotal moment where you were like, do I keep investing in the internet leads and building agents and trying to develop people? And you're like, yeah, absolutely, because this is fun. I like a challenge.
Yeah. It's a fun challenge, and it also provides for me at this current stage of my life the lifestyle that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love the personal growth. I have a lot of times people say the exact same thing. Hey, watch your Facebook, you're gone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is work as
Mm-hmm.
well, like personal development as well as workshops or networking or mastermind, and surrounding myself with those people. But then it's also a lot of fun too. So
Yeah,
a lot of great family too. But yeah.
Yep. So last year you just had your awards gala a couple months. Was it 7 trophies, top production, top recruiting? What else was there? Am I making you blush?
No, stuff about it. Yeah, we had top producing group for our area. We had Rookie of the Year, top profit share, top recruiting. Like we basically got most of
That's awesome.
awards.
It's been awesome walking down memory lane and taking a look at all the progress of this idea that we had 5 years ago. And like you said, it's for me as well. What really is exciting about Rockerbox at this point, obviously we're working with so many different clients and we have so many employees that are here making calls, but it's like you said, it's exciting to help create opportunities for other people as well. You know, we're helping our callers get a leg up in their young professional career. Every graduate we've had over the last 3 years has had multiple job opportunities waiting for them when they walk stage. So, I mean, that's really what's fun and exciting about business building. You know, surrounding yourself around big thinkers and coming up with crazy, wacky ideas and making them an actual reality, right?
Yep.
So what's next for you, Spring? I know business is in line, you're taking lots of trips. Like, what do you got going on for 2018?
So 2018, I have a couple of things. I'm going to spend some quality time with my family. That's fun. I feel like the business is to the point where we've got a lot of things dialed in. And so my main focus for 2018 is recruiting and building out a platform, because like you've said, you have tons of employees that are coming in and you're helping them get to that next step. I feel like that's the exact same thing with the team. I love bringing in a new agent and helping them achieve their goals. So recruiting is a big part, and then surrounding myself with awesome people. I think traveling with my friends and family, and then I have a women's group that I'm part of that is great as well. So that's
awesome.
my plan.
That's great. Yeah. Well, it's been exciting having you on today's episode, and we'll definitely have to go ahead and calendar the 10-year anniversary episode 5 years from now. So I'll be excited to see where we're at then, Spring.
I know, right? I'm really excited to see where we're at in the year. That's fun.
Yeah, certainly. Well, keep crushing it, Spring. We love being a part of your business. Love our continued relationship and helping others succeed as well.
Thanks, Josh, for all you do.
Have a good one.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.